Hello everyone, this is Ishant here. I welcome you all to my YouTube channel Computer Science. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about head and tail functions in Python Pandas. So let's start. Let us understand head function first. Head function returns the first n numbers of the series or n members of the series or n elements of the series. Okay. If no value is passed, then the head function returns the 5 numbers.
Let us try to understand head function with the help of an example. As shown in front of you, we have a small Python Pandas program. So here in the first line, we are importing the pandas as PD. In the second line, we are creating a series object ser1, and then after that we are passing 7 data values as 56, 82, 90, 12, 64, 76 and 99. After that we are performing the head function. To apply head function, first we write the name of the series, then give a dot after the number of elements that we want to access. Say if I am writing here ser1.head2, it means I am actually fetching only two values, the two first values, that is the 56 and 82. As you can see in the output, the by default generated index value 0 and 1 are printed in output. Why? Because we have passed the argument of head function as 2. Because we have passed the argument as 2, only the starting two elements are printed. In the same way, we can perform the head function with different values. But what will happen if no argument is passed in head function? It will by default generate the first 5 elements present in the series. And when we pass the argument as 0 in head function, we get an empty series. So in this way we can learn head function.
What is a tail function? It returns the last n numbers or n elements or n members of the series. If no value is passed, then by default it also takes the last 5 members of the series.
Let us try to understand tail function with the help of an example as shown in figure. The first line represents that we are importing the pandas with the alias as PD. In the second line, we are creating the series object ser1 with the elements as 56, 82, 90, 12, 64, 76 and 99. After that, in the third line, what we are doing, we are applying the tail function with the argument 2. With the argument 2, we are actually telling that that the Python will print the last two elements, that is the 76 and 99. As shown in the output window, you can see that the by default generated values 0 and 1 are printed with the data values as 76 and 99 because we have passed the argument 2 here. Please note that when the tail function has no argument or when no argument is passed in the tail function, then by default the last 5 elements are printed in sequence. If 0 is passed in the tail function, then an empty series is generated with the data type in 64.
Let's try to understand this concept with the help of example. So to understand the concept, we are required to create a series first. For creating a series, we are required to import the library pandas. So I am going to write here import pandas as PD. Okay, then we have to create an identifier. I have already created here. Let's try to understand that identifier. The name of the series object is Samir_marks. It means Samir is a student and say the marks are 73, 90, 82, 76, 93, 81 and 93 for the following subjects, say English, Hindi, Math, Science, Physics, Chemistry and Informatics practices. Now let's try to fetch the output of this code. So I will write here print Samir marks. Now let us try to execute this one. Here you will find a simple series has been created in front of you with the data type N64. Now, in order to perform the head and tail functions, we are required to use it, but where to use? You have to use it where the object has been called as the output. Say here print Samir marks is the output command. So where the output command is there, you have to write dot HEAD head and then pass the values. Suppose that if I pass 2, okay, if I pass 2, it means the first head element is English with a value 73. It means this is the first one. Then number 2, that is the 90 and Hindi. So here the two elements represents the head to functionality. So let's try to understand and try to execute the command and let's see what happens. Here you will come to know that only the two values has been printed. I hope this concept is clear. What will happen if I write here 3? It will take 73, 90 and 82 as the data elements with the index corresponding index values as English, Hindi and Maths. Let's try to execute this one also. I hope this concept is clear to you. Okay, now if I do not pass any argument here, then what will happen here? Okay, it will take the first 5 elements. Say these are the first 5 elements along with the subject, say 1, 2, 3, 4 and the fifth one is physics. So let's try to execute this one. Okay, so in this way we can make a conclusion that if no argument is passed in head function, then by default it takes the first 5 members or elements of the list or series. So this concept, I hope that this concept was clear to you. Let's try to make a simple change here. What will happen if I write here -1? So if I write here -1, it will ignore the last element. Okay, let's try to execute this one. Are you getting this concept? Okay, what will happen if I write here -3? It means -3 means -1, -2 and -3. These 3 elements or these 3 members will be ignored or eliminated from the output. So let's try to execute this one also. I hope it is clear to everyone that only this 4 members has been printed. Why? Because we have given -3. -3 means -1, -2 and -3. These elements has been eliminated from the output. So what will happen if I write here 0? If I write here 0, I will get nothing. There will be an empty series. So in this way we can make a conclusion here. This was all about the head function. Now let's try to understand about the tail function. What is actually a tail function? We have already learned in our concept tail. Suppose that if I write here tail 2, it means it will take the last 2 elements. Okay, let's try to execute this one. I hope it is clear. It will take the last 2 elements along with their corresponding associated values will be there. In the same way, suppose that if I write here tail 1, it means it will take the last element only. Clear? What will happen if I do not pass any value here? It will take the last 5 elements from the series 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. It means from maths it will take the corresponding values. Now what will happen if I write here -1? Okay, let's try to execute this one. And here you will know that -1 means it is ignoring the first element. From when we are talking with respect to tail, it is ignoring the first element. What will happen if I write here -3? It means it will ignore English, that is the -1, Hindi, that is the -2, and maths, that is the -3. So the answer will be starting from science, physics, chemistry, and informatics practices. Let's try to execute this one also. I hope this concept is now clear to everyone, how these things are working when we're talking about the head and tail functions. So this was all about the head and tail functions that we have looked here. If you have any doubts regarding this concept, please let me know in the comment section. Till then, thank you. Have a nice day ahead.